Good morning. Good to see you all this morning on Easter Saturday. I hope you're all well. This morning I put up two little prints. They're in the post below. I've got them here. Let me just show them to you. There they are. This one is called Making Silent Waves, and this one is called Dreaming Big. And I have combined them both because I thought they kind of looked like the same little boy, and I thought that is a good place to start. I wanted to just speak about firstly, maybe let's start with the dreaming big, kind of looking to I remember when I drew this, I was just feeling that I was really connected to that little boy inside. You know, when you're a little kid and you had these big dreams, and I found some wonderful quotes. This is a book I got in the Tate in London, and it's called Art is the Highest Form of Hope, but it's that and many other quotes by artists. But let me just read you this, a few quotes from this book I just think is precious. It's about childhood. One that I liked very much was, I was never brought up with the idea that I could be an artist, that I should be an artist, or that it's a good job. That's by Wolfgang Tillmans. Another by Will Barnett. He said, I never wanted to be anything but an artist. I was determined to be an artist. And I was old enough at 5 to speak up for my rights. Everybody just had to accept my choice. As a matter of fact, no one in my family painted or talked about pictures. But I had a sympathetic mother who encouraged me. And my testimony, my experience is very much the same. Art was, it was a nice thing to do, but you wouldn't really make a living out of it. But it was this little boy, this little guy inside of me, I think, that always looked up and wondered and was curious about things. And curiosity is the most precious gift. I want to say, if nothing else on this day, can you stir your curiosity about how things work, about who you are, about what's going to happen, because there's something so innocent and pure about that. I love this quote. These are all childhood quotes or memories from childhood by William Eggleston. He said, I would play music every day from the time I was about 4 or 5 years old. Every time I would go from one end of the house to the other, I would pass the piano and play a few notes. Or this one by Jean Arp, or actually Jean-Michel Basquiat, who's obviously well known, unfortunately committed suicide at 28, but he wrote this: I was a really lousy artist as a kid. I'd never win a painting contest. I remember losing to a guy who did a perfect Spider-Man. I love that. Sometimes our early formative days are so humble and can be so shaping, either positive or negative, depending on what voices people have spoken over us. There's one here that I wanted to find. Richard Prince, when I was growing up, the Lone Ranger and Tonto were an important part of my day. And I think we can all reflect on that and think, yeah, we had our heroes. There's one here, Marina Abramovich, who's a famous artist. I mean, she does incredible work, challenging work. But she wrote, when I was 12, I had my first art show. I remember being jealous of Mozart when I learned that he had his first concert at 7. And so these are just some of the quotes and anecdotes from kids, famous artists now, but when they were children, they remember these things. And I remember looking up and I used to get, like silver and gold badges at arts and crafts stores, but nothing really that was speaking about a future or a career in art. And maybe you had these dreams, you had these moments when you kind of thought, what am I going to become? I love doing this. I love playing with this. I mean, there's one great quote by, I think it's Georgia O'Keeffe. She used to love dropping nail polish. I think it's your nail polish. She'd fill a sink up with water and drop nail polish in, and then watch as the color exploded to the surface. And she's a famous, well, I think she's passed away now, but famous artist. But so I wanted to start with that one and say, take some time to, there you go, just to have a look at who you are, away from all the noise, all the responsibilities of being a mom, dad, parent, son, daughter, brother, all of those things. And who's the little child inside of you? What are you looking up to? Where are your hopes? Because as we follow them, as we pursue them, we get this opportunity, and this is called making silent waves. None of us will ever know, and I think it's God's wisdom to us, what influence our lives are making on others. How, as we go about doing the best we can to become the best we were meant to be honest, to be faithful with what we've been given in small little steps. Sometimes it's just phone calls, acts of courage, acts of generosity, acts of selflessness that make a massive impact. Almost like that movie, The Butterfly Effect, like everything affects everything in consequence. And so my firm belief, I remember when I was raising money to go to Florence, one of the things I did was I organized to cycle from Johannesburg to Cape Town and got people to sponsor me for my trip per kilometer. And it was very interesting because there were two types of people, of the people that I approached. So one type would say, so, what are we raising funds for here? What's the purpose? And I would say, I'm raising money to pursue a dream of going to Italy, and so your money is helping me pay for that. And they were amazed by that, and they loved that, and it inspired them with their own purpose and their own dreams. And then there were those people who were challenged so much by, if I can put it, making my own waves, that they said, if it was for charity or something, Duncan, absolutely, but if it's just for you, I don't think so. It's almost like there's some people that are, you stepping out are going to challenge them and their own sense of fear or lack of courage to do so. And so my encouragement is just realize that there will always be those people. They can be people close to you, family members, people who won't have the same faith, the same courage, the same vision to step out. But be gracious with those moments, because everyone is at a different stage, obviously, of recognizing who they are, what that dream is inside of them, and do they have the courage to go on, do they have the courage to pursue it and go where it might go? Because that's the beauty of it. Essentially, if everybody could live in their own uniqueness fully, this world would be transformed. Another quick story I remember, I had the privilege of working with the South African Ballet Theatre Company and on a production for Swan Lake, and so I did an exhibition based on Swan Lake, and so I sat in on the, excuse my chicken, I sat in on the rehearsals in the dance studios in Braamfontein, and it was probably one of the highlights of my sketching career. I sat there with my pens and pencils all scattered on the floor, my camera, and what was amazing about this was that everyone in that room, every dancer from the whole corps de ballet, had paid an enormous price over years to be at a level of excellence that is undeniable. You could not get there without having sacrificed enormously and paid enormous prices in terms of other opportunities, pain, fitness. And so you see all of these dancers, and they were already, there was this like elevated status of excellence. And I walked out of there thinking, man, if every human being could reach this level of discipline, of sense of identity, of sense of purpose, this world would be transformed. And so I'm very grateful to those ballet dancers, to Karen Bierkus and Ian MacDonald and their whole company at that time. It really has instilled in me, I already had a love for dancing, but that really gave me a much deeper respect for who they are and the waves that they make. And so I just want to end with that. Bless you on Easter Saturday. Remember that there's something unique and special inside of you, and as you explore it, you will begin to make silent waves. Great. Have a good day. Cheers.